Next up, we're back to Ren Fair cloaks. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'll stop once we go to Ren Fair this year. I'm picturing the meadow cloak. And I've got I don't know, something in my head that's more open in the front and has, crap, what do you call those sleeves? Raglan sleeves, but also dramatic in other ways. We'll see. Also have a bed sheet, because of course I do. Fitted, because of course it is. Let me go cut the elastic off. This fabric looks like I gnawed it free of its confines. It's because, well, the edges on this fabric are impossible, and I'm going to pretend that's because it's microfiber from the Goodwill-bins. Anyway, I laid a t-shirt down, added a couple inches to the bottom, folded the sleeves over to get something like a raglan, and that's how I cut out the top. Back, I meant back, not top. So this is how I cut out the front. Oh my god. We're hemming. It'll disappear. So if you end up liking the thing, this is how you pattern the thing. There's the front. 2 giant rectangular sleeves. They each look like this, like demented trapezoids. I'm going to sew up like that much of it, and then have little drama gaps going down. And up there's a random rectangle for a hood. And that's where we stand. Let's make thing together. Just for the record, when I'm eyeballing stuff, I'm really eyeballing stuff. This is the hood. It's not lining up with the edge of where the hood should end up, so I'll just trim it off on both sides. It'll be cool. So we have a very odd little jacket that obviously would not be worn with this clothing, but I think we've got a good starting point. And we have scraps of, well, bunny fur. We have scraps of yellow linen that would be nice for butterflies, and scraps of red linen that I picture being used for poppies. And because both of those things ought to be appliqued on with black thread, I'm going to try and do all the applique work with black thread, or unless there's a compelling reason otherwise. What I want is just like dense, chaotic growth from the bottom. Lots of leaves, lots of blades of grass, flowers, and then some butterflies and beetles. So, dense, chaotic. But now that I think about it, before we start in with the colorful stuff, we should do a little bit of grass. So I've got this scrap of a shirt that I upcycled. This piece was left over. Let's cut it into strips, and it can be the initial blades of grass situation. Can you twirl or something? I want to show people the thing. Show them the thing as it exists now. Yeah. And the other side of you. Ta-da! Because I don't think I gave you a very good view of it on me. And the sleeves, little baby. Because I haven't figured out yet the midpoint connections. Do I need to make the hood taller? I'll think about that. So there's that rectangle used up. We've got a decent start, and you can see what the rules are for where the ground of the meadow is. Now I'm going to go rummage around in my little bitty scraps bin and see what else I can do for the base level. Ha ha ha, I found a good-sized piece of this hideous olive green that I use for the leaf vest. And cut that into strips. Having fun. We're not worrying about the edges on anything that we're adding that's, I don't know, natural fibers. If it's natural fiber, then the edges can flap around and fray, and we will call it texture and also a lot less work. So, this is going well. I'm also starting to add some bits of ephemera, because otherwise I'd start getting bored, and we can't have me getting bored this early in the project, right? So, actually, let's do that. Do one of the pink ones. No, not this high up. Okay, on the way back down, I'll tuck a pink in right there and have it go up. I can't have, I would have it go up here, but then it would look weird. just peeking out. Surprise! A little bit lower is better, right? So here we are at the moment. Those purple bushes should not work as well as they do. I assume they're integrating because of the black. Like bringing everything together, maybe? And you say, Paloma, what the hell are you doing? And I say, I wish I knew. The vegetation was so easy that I am afraid I developed some unjustified confidence when it came to the butterflies. So, just hoping for the best here. The idea with all these black stitches is that they're supposed to look sketch-like, yeah? So that should make it a more forgiving system. It feels like it ought to. Anyway, if in doubt, I'll just do some serious embroidery over it or something. But the first poppy looks good. So apparently vegetation in general is easier for me than critters, which isn't a surprise. Maybe the beetles will be easy. So the theory with all this is that I start with the boring crap and build up in layers, right? And so each time I gather a handful of stuff to add to the project, I can put more interesting stuff in it, right? And eventually we'll be to the phase where we're doing beads and maybe not ribbons. Gold thread. I've got some of that. That could be fun. But yeah, as a reward for being good and doing a lot of work already, I get to do more sparkles. So, sparkles soon? Do I get to do sparkles soon? I think I do. That'll be cool. I should go rummage through my beads. Okay, I added a giant honking rectangle to make the hood a lot taller. So we'll do some kind of tie there, and it won't be too small anymore. Would you turn around, Angel? Other than that, this is where we are right now. Sleeves, and more fun to come. So we know I can't do this sort of thing without beads. I had a couple small bags of mixed up beads, dumped them in a bowl, and the last time it was so annoying picking up the beads as I'm stitching. So this time I'm putting them on threads, and then I'm going to sew the thread to the project, and we'll see if that's less annoying. It'll give us different shapes anyway. I'm pretty sure that putting all of the beads on a thread and then stitching the thread down to the project is a nice flexible technique. Is it a technique? I guess so. Not inherently limiting. However, this is not the project to show that it is not inherently limiting, because there's blades of grass and I've got green strings. So I'm stitching them down in straight lines that turn to spirals, which, I don't know. Maybe we'll experiment with making it look more versatile on another project. We are on the sleeve right now, and I'm working with a piece of thread that is probably way too long, but that is how I roll. And, okay, found, this. And I was like, yay, that's a good color. And then I realized it was cut before I got it. So that annoyed me deeply. We're going to use up all of this. And I needed to put some kind of holdy together bit on the sleeve slash. There's got to be a name for that. And this, I don't love this, but it's about to loop around. See, holding together. Hold on, I already did the other sleeve. It's somewhere. There. Like I said, I don't love it, but I like it. It feels sturdy and appropriate to the piece. And I'm sure I'll employ this sort of thing again. It doesn't take overwhelmingly long either. I left the top of the slash undecorated. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And of course the bottom gets a decorative strip of fabric to hide the bottom of all the grassy crap. So, moving on. Almost done. That hideous rayon dress that I got at the Goodwill-bins that I already used the skirt of it for a different upcycle, I realized that the belt of it was half of the belt of it was plenty long enough to go around the bottom of this cloak, because it's a pretty modest size, honestly. And also, remember, we made the bottom of it very straight, so I wouldn't have to deal with trying to ease fabric onto a circle, which is not ideal. So this is wrapping things up. Now, I did realize that I said I wanted to put beetles on it, and I have not put beetles on it. And yet, I'm kind of fed up with this project at this point, and it looks great. And so, we're not going to do the beetles. And then, at some point in like January or February, when I'm bored out of my mind, we'll have a Make Weird Projects Fancier video or something, and we'll add beetles to this and probably a skull. Who knows? It'll be fun. So, this is just, I don't know, doing some, wow, I wandered out of frame, didn't I? Doing some finishing. Leaving an edge of actual fabric down at the bottom, that's just personal preference. You could totally do different if you chose. Just what I really like is an edge of this and then like multiple different fabrics, but this is the focus point here. Oh, I also did, crap, where are you? Hood. Oh, there. So the toggles that I absolutely wanted to put on the purple cloak and didn't, I decided they worked here. They have really giant button chasms and a nice closure that fits the vibe of everything else. It's quite possible the next thing will be the reveal after I, finish up. What are you doing? Give me the phone. Fix the hood. Fix the hood, you little terror. Plenty of hood in case people want to do their hair up. That's better. No, there's no pockets. You can reach the ones in your dress. A moment ago, you could see that on a smaller person, more of it's visible in the front than on the back, which is still honestly super freaking cool. We are going to zoom in. This is from a project that's part of the next video. Little butterflies. It'll be cool when I add the beetles, won't it? But a little bit of sparkle. A little bit of fun. Hood is mostly plain, because, I don't know, got lazy with that. Put all the fun at the bottom. Twirl, darling. Would it be fun at the Ren Fair? Love you too.